She's as big as a whale.
So when Plankton says, look at his daughter, she's as big as a whale, the soda can on the table suddenly moves to the left. Looks like the can wanted a morning walk. Number 2.
Mr. Plankton, if you think I'm gonna stand out there all day listening to, then you must have coral when...
So when Squidward barges into Mr. Plankton's office, you can see there are no Krabby Patties on Mr. Plankton's desk, but in the next shot, 2 Krabby Patties appear out of nowhere. Guess they wanted to make a surprise appearance. Number 1. So the old man is carrying a tray with just a Krabby Patty and fries, but when Plankton zooms in on the tray, a fork and a drink with a straw suddenly appear. Looks like the tray wanted to be a little extra. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. The most baffling SpongeBob animation fails of all time. Number 3.
Call off your daughter, Krabs! Call her off! Stay back, whale! I'm privy to what you do to organisms.
So there's a feather in front of the plankton, but in the next shot, poof, it's gone. Then, just as suddenly, it reappears. Guess the feather wanted to play hide and seek. Number 2. So the door falls off and there's no hinge. But when Plankton flies in through the hole, poof, a hinge magically appears. Looks like the door got a last-minute upgrade. Number 1.
Enjoy, Eugene!
So Plankton's laughing and his teeth randomly turn green for a second. Guess Plankton forgot to brush, or maybe it's just an animation glitch. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob's most jaw-dropping animation fails. Number 3.
Now can we open the presents?
Darling little sardine, here we are.
Alright, so when Pearl is opening her present, the cake just disappears from the table. Looks like someone ate the cake off screen. Number 2.
I've been to the moon. There are no aliens. How can you be so naive? There's evidence all around us. How do you explain?
So when SpongeBob explains his alien theory, there's a plant and rocks behind him, but in the wide shot, poof, they're gone. Looks like Bikini Bottom's decorations can't stick around. Number 1.
all the steering wheels.
This alien repellent for your trip.
Alien repellent.
So when SpongeBob's in bed, there's a mysterious glass window on the floor. But when Patrick shows up, poof, it's gone. Guess the window wasn't feeling the spotlight. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. You'll never guess how these SpongeBob mistakes happen. Number 3.
I'll give you a golden spatula.
A lot of driver's license instead.
When SpongeBob
Nice
is
try.
moving back and forth on his chair while writing his essay, there is no pencil on the desk. But when he goes back to work on the essay, there is. Guess that pencil just appeared out of thin air. Number 2.
Come on, Squid. All you have to do is write a letter. Come on.
Don't be a party.
When everybody comes to Squidward's house to persuade him to write a letter, you see that all the paper, pencils, and bottles on the ground disappear. What's up with that? Number 1.
Where's Santa?
Santa's coming to your shine.
SpongeBob keeps singing, Santa's coming tonight, and once everybody walks away, Patrick appears right next to SpongeBob out of nowhere. Looks like Patrick knows some kind of teleportation trick. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob editing oversights only superfans noticed. Number 3. So when Squidward pops his eye out of the door to look around, the walkway to Patrick's house is suddenly missing. Guess even walkways can disappear in Bikini Bottom. Number 2.
Do it again, do it again!
Squidward!
So Squidward's door starts off brown, but when SpongeBob and Patrick walk in, it suddenly turns cream colored. Looks like the door couldn't decide on a paint job. Number 1.
Let's get over there!
Feel like a new start.
So while running to see the oyster, Patrick starts in SpongeBob's right, but in the next shot, he's suddenly on the left. Looks like they swap spots mid-sprint. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. Get ready to cringe at these SpongeBob bloopers. Number 3. When Mr. Krabs is hanging SpongeBob upside down, SpongeBob's hat falls to the ground, but in the next shot, it's gone. Guess that hat had better places to be. Number 2.
Firmly grasp it! That ought to do it.
So, when Patrick hands Squidward the net, it's in his left hand, but in the next shot, it's in his right. Guess Squidward's hands are just a little too quick for us. Number 1.
Just concentrate on driving.
So when Mr. Krabs is driving at night, buildings are all around him, but in the next shot, poof, they're gone. Looks like those buildings clocked out early. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob's oddest editing mistakes that slipped through. Number 3.
Oh, this is it!
Where's the popcorn? It's in the microwave, Cant. Superhero. He screams in pain.
In the first shot, Ernie's microwave has 21 buttons, but in the next shot, it suddenly has 24. Guess the microwave got an upgrade mid-scene. Number 2.
Barnacles!
Look what you did to this wallet.
So SpongeBob's rocking a red glove on his left hand, but in the next shot, poof, it's gone. Guess that glove took an unexpected vacation. Number 1.
Help! There's a mad chopper on the loose!
I'll handle this, citizen.
Don't do it, kid!
So SpongeBob's mopping the floor when a customer walks in and talks about Patrick chopping everything, but then, poof, the mop and water disappear. Guess the mop just couldn't handle the drama. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. These SpongeBob goofs are the ultimate spot the mistake challenge. Number 3.
Every single bite. Gary, are you sure you...
So when Gary eats all the food, he burps out his bowl. But in the next shot, surprise, a ladder suddenly appears next to it. Guess that ladder just popped up out of nowhere. Number 2.
But I'll be rid of your bad memory as well. Karen 2!
So there's a tray of food on the table, but when Plankton reveals the Karen 2, the tray of food magically disappears. Guess it just vanished into thin air. Number 1.
Hey, that wasn't too bad. What was it?
Coffee?
Coffee? Not for the last time, Patrick. I'm trying to...
So SpongeBob drinks from a glass and drops it on the floor. But in the next shot, the glass is gone. Looks like it disappeared without a trace. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. Could you spot these SpongeBob errors from a mile away? Number 3. So when Sandy blasts off in her escape pod to Texas, she leaves a big hole on top of her dome. But in the very next shot, it's completely gone. Guess that hole decided to take the day off. Number 2.
My best friend.
Hey, who left this bowl of onions here?
Around town.
Believe it or not.
So Squidward finds a bowl of onions right under his nose on the counter. But in the very next shot, the onions have vanished. It looks like those onions pulled a disappearing act. Number 1.
Bringing it around town.
Hey!
Alright, so take a look at this customer right here. He has a drink on his table, right? But when Squidward places a bowl underneath his face, the drink is suddenly gone. Where'd it go? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob animation goofs that defy logic. Number 3.
How to be normal. This videotape should help.
Are you tired of...
So when SpongeBob says this videotape should help, his left arm is completely missing. Looks like even SpongeBob isn't safe from animation glitches. Number 2.
This door is locked from the inside. Who would do such a thing?
So when all the customers are running away, the tables inside the Krusty Krab just disappear. Guess they decided to take a break. Number 1.
Glad to have this back.
So during this scene, when SpongeBob throws Krabby Patties into Squidward's mouth, the Galley Grub menu is missing. Guess even the menu couldn't make it through the scene. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob's most astonishing production oversights uncovered. Number 3.
Not even if you were... Oh, that's misses to the rooftops, which...
Alright, so SpongeBob rips off the top part of Mrs. Puff's ski mask, leaving the bottom half still on her. But in the very next shot, she's rocking her regular outfit instead. Talk about a quick wardrobe change. Number 2.
Here we are, SquarePants Manor. Oh, there you are.
Take a look at the door. There's no
Okay,
doormat. But
I'm
just a few
definitely
minutes
not
later,
making that
SpongeBob
jump.
pulls a
How is
key out
anyone
from
going to
under a
get
doormat
across
that
there?
definitely wasn't there before. Did that doormat
Uh-oh,
just appear out of
more
nowhere?
robots.
Number 1.
I'm not gonna rest till I do.
Okay. I'll go get
When
Sandy to help
SpongeBob
me
sneaks
out.
toward Patrick's house, Squidward's house is completely missing. Is this a magic trick, or did someone forget to draw it in? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. The most confusing SpongeBob editing mishaps. Number 3.
Would it be possible to play your clarinet a little better? I don't think the jellyfish like it.
When SpongeBob asks Squidward to play his clarinet better, Squidward is wearing his pink nightshirt, but in the next shot, he's suddenly wearing his normal brown shirt. That's a clear continuity error. Number 2.
Who better to bring this maniac to justice? Perfect. Terrific. It is our duty to catch this maniac.
Check this out. SpongeBob throws the newspaper on the ground, but in the very next shot, the newspaper is just gone. That's a classic animation slip-up. Number 1.
The open window maniac. I hope you learned a valuable lesson.
Now take a look at this window. In the first shot, it opens to the right, but when SpongeBob pops his head out, the window is suddenly opening to the left. How weird is that? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob errors that even the creators didn't notice. Number 3.
Hey, can't you read? No flash photography!
So, when Plankton is placed in a jar, there's a sign above him that says no flash photography. But in the very next shot, that sign completely disappears. Definitely a clear continuity error. Number 2. Alright, during the scene, Mr. Krabs' blue shirt turns completely white for a few seconds. Yeah, that's definitely a weird slip-up. Number 1.
And worst of all, it'll be the end of me.
Stop right where you are. I'm afraid we're gonna have to arrest the...
So, as you can see, SpongeBob isn't wearing his hat, right? But then, when the police officer says, "Stop right where you are," he suddenly has his hat on. What just happened? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. How many of these SpongeBob editing mistakes can you spot? Number 3.
Already. I'm done playing that game.
This is no game.
Treasure.
Alright, so when Mr. Krabs says, "This is no game," SpongeBob is in his underwear, but just seconds later, he's randomly in his workout outfit. That's a pretty bizarre slip-up. Number 2.
Just send my last check to the P.O. box, Mr. Krabs.
Squidward, it was just a joke.
Okay, as you know, Squidward has 4 legs, right? But when SpongeBob grabs his legs, 2 of them mysteriously vanish. How did that even happen? Number 1.
Hey, Larry, what's shaking?
Sandy! Boy, am I glad to see you. I need your help. My TV reception has been...
So, as you can see, Squidward stuffs paper towels in his ears to block out SpongeBob's laugh. But in the next shot, the paper towels are gone. Yep, that's a pretty obvious continuity error. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. Uncovered SpongeBob errors that are too funny to be true. Number 3.
Observation. So, what's jumping got to do with it?
My wife said she wouldn't even try it, no matter how much I saw.
It's always an argument, and I've tried to...
Alright, so as you can see, Sandy has a wristwatch on her right hand, but when she sits near the front to observe the fish, the wristwatch disappears. That's a clear continuity error. Number 2.
Can I punch you in the gut?
Sure. Everybody does.
Thanks, big guy.
See you around.
Okay, so when a smaller fish punches Larry the lobster in the gut, they're standing in the sand, right? But in the next shot, when they walk away, they're suddenly on the road. That's definitely an animation slip-up. Number 1.
Oh! Gary! Well, I'll be.
When SpongeBob is sad because he can't tie his shoes, it's night. But when Gary ties his shoes, suddenly, it's day. Pretty weird, right? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob animation bloopers even experts didn't catch. Number 3.
Is this the Krusty Krab? No! This is Patrick!
Alright, so when Patrick picks up the phone and says, "No, this is Patrick," the anchor symbol on his hat disappears for a frame. Yeah, that's definitely an animation slip-up. Number 2.
It's amazing how a simple change of clothes can make a guy look just like me.
Yep.
When Patrick is in SpongeBob's clothing, his shirt doesn't have a collar, right? But then, in the very next shot, the shirt magically has a collar. What's up with that? Number 1.
And of course, the best is cut.
When SpongeBob picks up Gary and some of his slime falls on the floor, but then when he hugs him and accidentally breaks his shell, the slime is completely gone. Talk about a continuity error. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. These SpongeBob mistakes will have you questioning everything. Number 3.
And give change, but you could never pay me enough to act brotherly towards that guy.
Alright, so when Squidward says, "But you can't pay me enough to act brotherly with that guy," take a look at Mr. Krabs. His legs just disappear. Yeah, that's definitely an animation error. Number 2.
Here it is. Land squirrel. That little squirrel is in trouble.
Okay, so when SpongeBob says, "That little squirrel is in trouble," half of his belt is missing. Yeah, that's clearly a continuity error. Number 1.
Oh, it didn't go off. Another done, Plankton.
So in the first shot, the time on the clock looks like this, okay? Remember that. But literally, just a few seconds later, the time on the clock has completely changed. What's up with that? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. Glaring SpongeBob editing fails that will ruin the show for you. Number 3.
Put it there, SpongeBob, boy.
Sure.
All right, so when Mr. Krabs chops SpongeBob's arm, take a look at his legs. They randomly turn purple instead of the usual red. Yeah, that's definitely an animation glitch. Number 2.
It's all here in my Squidward memory book.
What?
Here's at the camp. Here's when I moved in.
Okay, so when SpongeBob shows his memory book to Squidward, there's this one frame where Squidward's neck is completely detached from his body. Pretty weird, right? Number 1.
You'll never believe it.
So during this scene, when SpongeBob jumps, his eyes mysteriously turn yellow for a couple of frames. That's a clear continuity error. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob's biggest slip-ups that everyone missed. Number 3.
This pizza without my drink! You call yourself a delivery boy? Well, I ain't buying!
All right, take a look at this incidental character. When he says delivery boy, his back fin randomly detaches from his body. That's definitely an animation glitch. Number 2.
It's okay, Sponge.
Okay, so when SpongeBob falls to the ground, his feet are facing sideways. Remember that, but just seconds later, his feet suddenly face upright. Talk about a weird mistake. Number 1.
Think if you have bad shoes or even bad hair.
You're not ugly. Your breath stinks.
So when SpongeBob starts screaming Patrick, there's a frame where the holes on his body just disappear for a moment. Crazy, right? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob's hidden animation blunders exposed. Number 3.
Say goodbye to Patrick, Gary.
All right, so when SpongeBob carries Gary away from Patrick, one of his white sleeves turns yellow. Yup, that's definitely a continuity error. Number 2.
I'm sorry, but I can't take him for no more.
Okay, so as you can see, the floor inside the Krusty Krab is green, right? Remember that, but when Mr. Krabs rips up the Krusty Krab, the floor magically changes to brown. So yeah, that's totally an animation blunder. Number 1.
I'm ready. There it is. The finest eating establishment ever established for eating. Home of the Krabby Patty.
So when SpongeBob is looking at the Krusty Krab, he's standing on sand. Got it? But here's the issue. In the very next shot, he's randomly on the road. That's a weird slip-up. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. Are these SpongeBob mistakes real, or are we seeing things? Number 3.
Get that, Sandy, with a super sneaky karate move.
So when SpongeBob is running towards Sandy's house, there's this frame where his air helmet is literally floating in mid-air. Yeah, that's definitely an animation glitch. Number 2.
Oh, no. No!
In the first shot, the staircase has only 3 steps, right? Keep that in mind. But then, moments later, when the con man falls, the same staircase magically has 10 steps. Pretty weird, don't you think? Number 1.
2, 4, 3.
All right, so in the opening scene, there's this incidental character wearing a white shirt, right? But in the very next shot, he's suddenly wearing a brown shirt. Definitely a strange slip-up. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. The most ridiculous SpongeBob animation fails ever aired. Number 3.
You chipped my furniture. What do we do?
All right, so when Bubble Bass's mom says, "You chipped my furniture," one of the temples of her glasses turns yellow instead of staying black. That's definitely an animation slip-up. Number 2.
Go ahead. Tell me how much you like it. No worry not.
So when SpongeBob and Squidward are fighting over Squidward's drawing, there's this one frame where the drawing is missing from the paper. Yep, that's a clear continuity error. Number 1.
Sandy caught the monster.
I didn't know I'd been missed so much.
Okay, so you know how there's always a badge on Sandy's suit, right? Well, in this scene, her badge just randomly disappears. Talk about a crazy mistake. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob errors that will have you double-checking episodes. Number 3.
Day at Glove World.
All right, so when SpongeBob is about to board the bus, take a look at his right hand. It's missing for a few frames. That's a classic animation blunder. Number 2.
I am not leaving this spot!
Can't believe I'm wearing SpongeBob's underwear.
Okay, check this out. There's a sign above the window, right? Remember that, but when the lights go out, the sign just randomly disappears. That's a clear continuity error. Number 1.
You love music, right, Squidward? Then this'll definitely be your happiest memory. Oops, that was a sour note.
Now take a look at this incidental character here. She's wearing a pink dress, but here's the issue. In the very next shot, her dress is completely gone. Pretty weird, don't you think? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. You missed these hilarious SpongeBob goofs until now. Number 3.
Welcome to the Bikini Bottom Demolition Derby! Hails from the dark.
All right, take a look at this incidental character right here. His lips are pale yellow, right? But in the next shot, they suddenly turn purple. Yeah, that's definitely an animation slip-up. Number 2.
In the water supply, crystal clear.
Okay, so as you can see, Mrs. Puff is wearing a red cap, right? But when she drinks the water, her cap suddenly turns black. Yeah, that's a pretty weird mistake. Number 1.
All set, Squidward.
Are you sure this is safe?
As long as someone competent is behind the wheel. What's that?
All right, so when Sandy says, all set, Squidward, her tail is just gone. Talk about a continuity error. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob editing fails that are stranger than fiction. Number 3. All right, check out this photo frame of SpongeBob right here. It says February, right? But then in the close-up shot, it randomly changes to December. Yep, that's definitely an animation error. Number 2.
You with the worrying naughty boy, Tyson. I've been looking all over.
Okay, so when Plankton takes off his glasses, his eyes completely disappear for a frame. Yeah, I'm pointing it out. It's such a bizarre slip-up. Number 1.
Cast one over on us.
What are you, a couple of dizzy dudes?
Hey, he said hoops his catchphrase.
Now take a look at this old man right here. For just a split second, his bottom tooth vanishes. That's a strange mistake. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. The weirdest SpongeBob animation mistakes ever recorded. Number 3.
Handedly save your vessel from certain doom.
Nope, that didn't work.
So when Mr. Krabs says nope, the gap between his eyes fills with a random orange color. Yeah, I'm pointing it out. This is definitely an animation glitch. Number 2.
Squidward.
Happy opposite day, Squidward. We hate you.
Okay, so as you can see, SpongeBob is wearing his belt around his head, right? But just seconds later, his belt randomly appears around his waist. Yep, that's a clear continuity error. Number 1.
Oh, my little finger! Hold still, hold still.
All right, so during this scene, the bottom part of Patrick's body is just cut off. Yeah, I'm zooming in so you can see it clearly. Pretty weird, right? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. Did SpongeBob really just make this error? Number 3.
Wait.
Now what?
So you don't want it?
Right.
Does that mean I can have it?
All right, so in the first shot, the handle on Squidward's door looks like this, okay? Remember that, but just seconds later, the handle is completely different. That's a clear continuity error. Number 2.
I've given you everything but the shirt off my back.
Oh.
Okay, take a look at SpongeBob. During this scene, his teeth randomly turn yellow instead of the usual white. Classic animation mistake right there. Number 1. So when Squidward is painting, the mouth on the painting is closed, right? Keep that in mind. But when it breaks, the mouth is suddenly open. Yeah, that's a pretty funny slip-up. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. These SpongeBob mistakes will leave you stunned. Number 3.
I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I'm going to work.
All right, so take a look at this incidental character right here. During this shot, her eyes just disappear. Pretty weird, don't you think? Number 2.
If only I had something.
Okay, so when Bubble Bass says, our only escape, his eyes turn yellow instead of the usual white. Yeah, that's definitely a continuity error. Number 1.
Okay, I see it. It's a Krabby Patty, okay?
I couldn't help it.
All right, so when Plankton is talking, take a look at the bottom of his body. The legs aren't colored in for a couple of frames. That's totally an animation glitch. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. Shocking SpongeBob errors that prove nobody's perfect. Number 3.
I'd never let you have this boat.
All right, so in the first shot, Mrs. Puff is wearing a blue cap, right? But when SpongeBob hits her, her cap just disappears. Yeah, talk about a continuity error. Number 2.
You forever think Plankton owes.
Okay, so when SpongeBob walks towards the office door, one of the holes in his body disappears for a frame. I'm pointing it out because that's definitely a strange slip-up. Number 1.
All right, remember, guys, this is an intervention. SpongeBob knows how much we all care about him.
Okay, take a look at SpongeBob's house. There's a window right next to the door, right? Remember that. But just seconds later, the window is magically gone. That's a pretty weird mistake. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more.
SpongeBob?
SpongeBob editing fails that will test your observation skills. Number 3.
You would just move away already.
Move away? But Squidward, I like it. Yeah.
All right, so when SpongeBob is talking to Squidward, there's a frame where both of his eyes turn yellow instead of the usual white. That's a pretty clear animation slip-up. Number 2. Okay, so when everyone is singing the song, take a look at SpongeBob. His entire mouth is missing for a split second. Pretty weird, right? Number 1.
No, Squidward, wait! There's cheese on these patties!
And all right, so during this scene, the top right part of SpongeBob's head is just floating. Yeah, I'm pointing it out. That's definitely an animation error. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. Check out these SpongeBob goofs you've never heard of. Number 3. All right, so take a look at Sandy. She always has this badge on her suit, right? But when Sandy is flying, her badge randomly disappears. Yeah, that's clearly a continuity error. Number 2.
To retrieve the secret ingredient. It's time!
Okay, so when the red light flashes at the Krusty Krab, all the customers become transparent for a split second. I'm pointing it out. That's definitely an animation glitch. Number 1.
Thanks, SpongeBob. If I can reach, I'd do it myself.
Okay, so when Patrick walks out of the kitchen, his eyebrows are just missing for a frame. Yeah, he looks pretty weird, don't you think? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. The SpongeBob mistakes we can't stop laughing at. Number 3.
We're all out of buns.
No buns? Drat the luck!
Got a delivery for the Krusty Krab. Where do you want us to put these buns?
All right, so in this scene, take a look at this table and barrel. They have a green outline. Yeah, that's definitely an animation error. Number 2.
So maybe it's a little outdated. Now just get cooking. And the dinner had better be fantastic, or else.
Okay, so when Mr. Krabs is talking to SpongeBob and Squidward, there's a frame where his entire mouth just disappears. Crazy, right? Number 1.
Mr. Krabs isn't coming back. Now keep quiet so I can hear the tumblers in his safe. Hey, boys!
Mr. Krabs, I knew it!
All right, so in this shot, Squidward's left hand is completely cut off. Yep, I'm pointing it out. That's definitely a weird mistake. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob's most surprising editing oversights. Number 3.
Sunday, the Krusty Krab is home.
Hold on a
Oh, thank you. I can finally watch those reruns of the Rockfish Files.
All right, so as you can see, SpongeBob is wearing a red tie, right? But in this shot, his tie randomly turns black. That's clearly an animation slip-up. Number 2.
Heck no, I need it to breathe. I gotta have my air.
I love air. Air is good.
No, kid?
Why, air's my middle name.
Okay, so as you know, Sandy's neck is always brown, right? But during this scene, when she's talking to SpongeBob, her neck magically changes to white. That's definitely a continuity error. Number 1. Okay, check out this incidental character right here. During this scene, his pants keep appearing and disappearing. Yeah, I'm pointing it out because it's such a strange mistake. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. You won't believe these SpongeBob animation flubs. Number 3. All right, take a look at the doorknob. It's yellow, right? Keep that in mind because just seconds later, the doorknob magically turns green. Yeah, that's a pretty clear continuity error. Number 2.
You're about to get eaten. What can you wish for to make it so we don't get eaten?
I got it all figured out.
Okay, during this scene, Squidward's right sleeve randomly disappears for a frame. Yep, I'm pointing it out. Definitely an animation slip-up. Number 1. As you can see, SpongeBob hides behind a door, and then Doodlebob erases it, right? But in the very next shot, the door is suddenly back. Pretty weird, don't you think? If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob's most embarrassing on-screen errors. Number 3.
It's my body.
Dad, what are you doing? Son, what did I tell you?
All right, so as you can see, when SpongeBob crashes into the boat, there's only one character sitting on it, right? But just seconds later, another character magically appears out of nowhere. Pretty weird, right? Number 2.
It's all put on a happy face for Flats the Flounder.
Okay, so when Flats first enters the classroom, take a look at the door. There's no window on it, got it? But in the next shot, when SpongeBob walks in, a window has mysteriously appeared on the door. That's a major continuity error. Number 1.
One of your slumber parties, I'm calling a cant.
So in the first shot, Squidward is wearing a sleep mask, right? But when he falls out of the bubble, his mask is suddenly gone. Talk about an animation slip-up. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. Once you see these SpongeBob mistakes, you'll be shocked. Number 3.
It's all very clear to me now, Mr. Krabs.
All right, so in the first shot, if you look at the ketchup bottle, it's smaller than the mustard bottle, right? But in the very next shot, both bottles are the same size. Pretty weird, right? Number 2. Okay, so as you can see, SpongeBob is wearing a Krusty Krab hat, right? But when he looks at his reflection in the spatula, his hat is missing. Yeah, that's a funny little mistake. Number 1.
In Christmas Land theme park, it's me side hustle.
I knew this wasn't the North Pole.
Okay, so during this scene where Plankton is walking, his mouth duplicates itself. Yeah, I'm pointing it out because that's definitely an animation error. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. SpongeBob animation errors that make no sense. Number 3.
Something totally cool.
All right, so take a look at the tables inside the Krusty Krab. The tables look like this, okay? Remember that. But when Pearl runs into the Krusty Krab, the design of the tables is completely different. Pretty weird, right? Number 2.
Thing that used to give my life meaning and purpose.
But scientifically speaking, it's caused by your epiglottis constricting your larynx.
Okay, so when Sandy pulls down this chart of the body, her tail randomly disappears for a split second. Yeah, that's a pretty bad animation error. Number 1.
I had to pay Mr. Krabs $100 an hour. You have to work for it, remember?
During this scene, when Patrick is talking to SpongeBob, his entire mouth is just missing for a frame. Yeah, I'm pointing it out. That's definitely an animation error. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. These SpongeBob editing slip-ups will blow your mind. Number 3.
Why are we dressed like this?
The new ringmaster! Where's Squidward?
All right, so as you can see, there's a white tag right here on Patrick's outfit, right? But in the next shot, the tag randomly changes to brown. So that's a clear continuity error. Number 2. Okay, take a look at this incidental character right here. He has a purple back fin, but just seconds later, his fin magically changes to green. Yeah, talk about an animation mistake. Number 1.
Time to watch a master.
Howdy?
Greetings, Sandra. I'm here to tell you.
All right, so when Sandy opens her door, her brown tail is completely missing for the entire scene. That's definitely a weird slip-up. If you find these mistakes interesting, make sure to subscribe for more. The funniest SpongeBob animation fails ever seen. Number 3. Okay, during this scene, there's a frame where Squidward's bottom mouth is just gone. Yeah, he looks pretty weird, right? Number 2.
Here in my Squidward memory book.
What?
Here's at the camp. Here's when I moved in right next door.
All right, so when SpongeBob shows his memory book to Squidward, take a look at Squidward. His neck is completely disconnected from his body. Yeah, that's definitely an animation slip-up. Number 1.
Did you say chocolate?
Yes, sir. With or without nuts.
Chocolate? Chocolate!
All right, check out this incidental character right here. His eyes are yellow, right? But just seconds later, they suddenly change to green. Talk about a continuity error. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob's most obvious errors. Number 3.
The best driving student I've ever had, Roger. Kudos.
All right, so in this shot, Mrs. Puff's lipstick is red, right? But in the very next shot, her lipstick has magically changed from red to pink. Yeah, that's definitely an animation error. Number 2.
Giving it a nice shining between orders instead of 11. All his guaranteed nutrients and vitamins.
Okay, so as you know, there's always a galley grub menu sign inside the Krusty Krab, right? But in this episode, the sign just vanishes for no reason. That's a clear continuity mistake. Number 1.
Oh my, it's time to go home. Squidward, what are you still doing here?
All right, so in the first shot, SpongeBob isn't wearing a watch, right? Keep that in mind. But just seconds later, he's suddenly wearing one. Pretty weird, don't you think? If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. These SpongeBob mistakes are too wild to be true. Number 3.
I guess I'll just open a checking account.
All right, take a look at Incidental 7. She's wearing lipstick, right? But in the very next shot, her lipstick is suddenly gone. That's a clear animation error. Number 2.
I love Krabby Patties!
Put all along, Squidward.
Okay, so during this scene, one of the holes on SpongeBob's body turns blue for a split second. Yeah, that's definitely a weird mistake. Number 1. Okay, so in this shot, when Patrick is running around like a horse, if you pay attention to his shadow, it keeps disappearing and reappearing underneath him. That's a pretty strange slip-up. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob goofs hidden in classic episodes. Number 3.
And now it's Squiddy time.
All right, so as you can see, Squidward puts a closed sign on the door, right? But in the next shot, the sign is completely gone. That's a clear continuity error. Number 2.
Oh boy, only 6 to 8 before I can work at the Krusty Krab again.
Okay, so during this scene, SpongeBob's entire mouth disappears for a couple of frames. Yeah, he looks pretty weird, right? Number 1.
No, I mean,
Someone's broken the seam needle.
Good night,
That's
Bikini
horrible.
Bottom.
The seam needle is the cradle of Crochet Corner.
All right, so when Squidward pops his head out of the window, his iconic forehead wrinkles are missing for a frame. That's definitely an animation slip-up. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. Editing mistakes in SpongeBob, that'll change how you see it. Number 3.
Placement spatula. How could anything ever replace? Hey, look at that!
All right, so when SpongeBob says, "Hey, look at that," his red tie randomly disappears for a couple of frames. Yeah, that's clearly an animation error. Number 2.
What do you know about driving the invisible boat?
Okay, so in this scene, SpongeBob's headband literally overlaps through his eyes for a split second. That's definitely a weird slip-up. Number 1.
The conch signal! To the invisible! Vote for Bill!
Okay, when Mermaid Man is talking, one side of his belt magically turns orange. It's supposed to be yellow like usual, but the animators completely messed up. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob's animation fails that went completely unnoticed. Number 3.
Mr. Squidward, it's not time for your break.
All right, so in this scene, one of SpongeBob's teeth randomly turns yellow for a frame. That's a clear animation error. Number 2.
I should have gone with my first idea. Tick.
Okay, so right before the bubble transition, the X and O on the paper disappear. Yeah, I'm playing this in slow motion so you can see it clearly. Pretty weird, right? Number 1.
Three cheers for SpongeBob! Hip hip!
All right, Mr.
Hip hip!
All right.
Hip hip!
All right, Mr.
Be in my quarters.
Okay, take a look at Squidward's hat. It always has this anchor on it, right? Well, in this shot, the anchor's completely missing. Talk about a strange slip-up. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. Hilarious SpongeBob blunders that will make your day. Number 3. All right, so in this scene, SpongeBob is wearing a pink nightcap. Remember that? But just a few frames later, his cap randomly changes to green. That's a clear continuity error. Number 2.
So that's how you want to play it, huh? It's new toy! Fetch!
Now take a look at Gary's eyes. They're always red, right? But in this frame, his eyes magically change to purple. Talk about a weird slip-up. Number 1.
Respectfully tell you, I will never visit you.
Okay, so when Squidward shouts, one side of SpongeBob's white shirt turns transparent for a couple of frames. That's definitely an animation glitch. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob errors that made it past the cutting room. Number 3.
Gary, what are you doing here? Zane!
Alright, so in this scene, the blue dots on Gary's shell randomly turn brown. Yep, that's definitely an animation error. Number 2. Okay, check out this incidental character right here. There's a frame where his eye's pupil is completely missing. Really weird slip up, right? Number 1.
The brand new Patty Whip is now on the menu.
So as you all know, at the Krusty Krab, there's always a galley grub menu right here. But in this shot, the menu just magically disappears. Talk about a continuity mistake. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob mistakes that fans are just now finding. Number 3.
Property of Squidward tent poles.
That's tennis balls. Tentacles. Come on, Smelly.
All right, so as you can see, Patrick's eyelids are always purple, right? Remember that. But in this shot, his eyelids randomly change to pink. Yeah, that's definitely a continuity error. Number 2.
Hey, are you
Smash
listening
all
to
the
me?
dinkies
Don't
and
give
for
me
your-
that look. I said no, mister. Go, 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 go.
Okay, so during this scene, SpongeBob is wearing red pants, right? But just seconds later, his pants randomly turn blue. That's a clear animation error. Number 1.
Patrick and I have something to show you. It's unbelievable.
Well, that's just what I'm looking for.
Okay, so when SpongeBob is talking, there's a frame where his entire mouth just disappears. Yeah, he looks pretty weird, right? If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob's most unbelievable editing fails. Number 3.
What's wrong with my gap?
A gap that big between your teeth can be extremely dangerous.
All right, so when SpongeBob is sliding past a customer, there's a frame where both of his eyes turn yellow instead of the usual white. That's clearly an animation glitch. Number 2.
The best there is? I don't think so. You.
Okay, take a look at Incidental 5. During this scene, his entire mouth just disappears. Yeah, he looks pretty weird, right? Number 1. Alright, so when Mini Squidward is playing the clarinet, one side of SpongeBob's shirt turns yellow. It's supposed to be white, but the animators really messed up. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. Did you spot these shocking SpongeBob errors already? Number 3. Alright, so when Barnacle Boy crashes through the door's wheel changes color from blue to cream. Yeah, that's definitely an animation error. Number 2. Okay, check out this incidental character right here. She's wearing a yellow shirt, right? But just seconds later, her shirt randomly changes to brown. Talk about a major continuity mistake. Number 1. Alright, take a look at Trident. He's wearing blue pearls around his wrist, okay? Remember that. But in the next shot, 3 of the pearls on his bracelet change color, just like his skin. Yeah, that's definitely a weird slip-up. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. These SpongeBob mistakes are hidden gems for fans. Number 3.
What's wrong, Crash? Why won't you grow? Talk to me.
Alright, take a look at this incidental character right here. His mouth completely disappears for a frame. Yeah, that's a pretty weird slip-up. Number 2.
Did you see that? I ran right through a brick wall. I'm hard as...
Okay, during this scene, a small rock on the road literally overlaps with Patrick's leg. That's a clear animation error. Number 1.
Where's that bus? Late again!
Alright, check this out. Squidward's wearing a watch on his hand, right? But seconds later, when the bus doors open, his watch magically disappears. Talk about a major continuity mistake. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. Crazy SpongeBob animation errors you can't believe happened. Number 3.
Hello, and welcome one and all your money to ye old Krusty Krab.
All right, so during this scene, Mr. Krabs' belt completely disappears for a few seconds. Yeah, that's a pretty weird slip-up. Number 2.
Here you go, sir. You forgot your flyer.
Get out of town to beautiful Sunny Shore Resort.
Okay, in the first shot, the vacation paper clearly reads Seashore Resort, right? Remember that, but in the next shot, it suddenly says Sunny Shore Resorts. That's a clear continuity error. Number 1.
Ravioli, give me the formuloli. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. He's obviously a robot.
All right, so as you can see, this robot crab isn't wearing any undershirt, right? But then in this shot, it suddenly has a white undershirt. That's definitely an animation glitch. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob editing fails everyone overlooked. Number 3.
A great Grammy Law, you win again. All a great master.
All right, so in this scene, SpongeBob's left hand is just cut off. Yeah, I'm playing it in slow motion so you can see it clearly. That's definitely an animation error. Number 2. In this scene, the blue dots on Gary's shell are missing for a frame. Yeah, that's a major continuity mistake. Number 1.
Wait a minute, I didn't make that Krabby Patty. And you didn't make that Krabby Patty. So it must have been that rotten big plankton.
All right, so in this shot, one of Mr. Krabs' sleeves turns red. It's supposed to be blue like usual, but the animators completely messed it up. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob's funniest editing fails you'll never forget. Number 3.
Angel ice cream. Down to nanostature.
How's it work?
Please have a seat.
All right, so as you know, Sandy always has a yellow square acorn on her suit, right? But in this shot, the square randomly changes to white. That's clearly a continuity error. Number 2.
Hey, look at this.
Pretty.
Okay, so when everyone is at the window, the left leg of SpongeBob is just missing. Yeah, I'm pointing that out. That's a pretty bizarre mistake. Number 1. All right, so during the funeral scene, we can spot 2 of the same incidental character in one shot. That's a classic animation slip-up. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. The biggest SpongeBob blunders fans can't unsee. Number 3.
What a money-tastical day, eh, Mr. Squidward?
Yeah, I'm just raking it in.
All right, so when Mr. Krabs walks up to the Krusty Krab, there's a poster of a Krabby Patty on the window, right? But in the very next shot, the poster mysteriously disappears. Pretty strange, right? Number 2.
Mr. Star, your meal is ready. Patrick.
Okay, so check this out. SpongeBob is wearing long sleeves, right? But when we get a close-up of the burnt Krabby Patty, his sleeves are suddenly gone. That's definitely a continuity error. Number 1.
Please help me.
Pal, what you need is a vacation.
That's it.
Now, when SpongeBob says you need a vacation, one of his blue eyes turns completely white for a frame. Yep, that's definitely an animation slip-up. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob animation goofs you were never meant to see. Number 3.
Without further delay, I shall initiate proto sequence.
Sandy, I hate to delay the proceeding.
All right, so as you guys know, Sandy always has a tail, right? But in this shot, her tail is completely gone. Yeah, talk about a major continuity error. Number 2.
You still love me? Good old Gary's back.
Okay, in the first shot, this incidental character is wearing a purple shirt with blue sleeves, right? But in the very next shot, his sleeves magically change to purple. That's definitely a strange slip-up. Number 1.
That's a smart little sea star.
All right, so during this scene, Patrick's eye literally overlaps SpongeBob's head. Yeah, I'm pointing it out. That's such a weird mistake. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob editing errors that'll make you question everything. Number 3.
Delivery for Mr. Squidward Tentacles. Hello?
All right, so as you can see, this mailman is wearing sleeves, right? But in the close-up of the letter, his sleeve completely disappears. Yeah, talk about a weird slip-up. Number 2.
Oh, the trash is full. I had better call the garbage truck.
Okay, so during this scene, SpongeBob's teeth randomly changed to yellow. Yeah, they're supposed to be white, but the animation made a major continuity error. Number 1.
Mermaid Man.
Barnacle Boy.
Aw, are you guys here to protect us from the darkness that surrounds us?
Okay, so when SpongeBob is talking to Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, take a look at his legs, as his leg is just gone. Yeah, he doesn't have any legs. Pretty weird, right? If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. How many of these SpongeBob mistakes did you catch? Number 3. Alright, so when people are laughing at Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob, there's a glass that's literally floating in midair. Yeah, that's a pretty funny mistake. Number 2.
Next. Oh no.
This one smells funny.
Oh, come on! Hurry up!
Okay, so in the opening scene, there's an orange incidental character behind a brown one, right? But just seconds later, the orange character is replaced by a different character. That's totally a weird slip-up. Number 1.
Johnny Law shows up.
Okay, hold hands.
Take a look at incidental 118D. In the first shot, she's pink with blonde hair, okay? Remember that? But in the next shot, she's completely changed. That's a clear animation error. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. SpongeBob goofs that are too funny to ignore. Number 3.
Your costumes!
Bringing it
Sure.
around
Hey,
town.
SpongeBob.
Wow, looks like those iron bun workout videos are really paying off.
Alright, so as you can see, Patrick is wearing a purple bandana, right? But in the next frame, his bandana is completely gone. That's a clear continuity error. Number 2. Okay, so when SpongeBob is dancing, his leg suddenly turns white, just like his socks. It's supposed to be yellow, but the animators made a pretty weird mistake here. Number 1.
Who's ready?
I'm ready.
Who's ready?
I'm ready.
Who's ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so when SpongeBob jumps, the collar on his shirt changes to red instead of the usual white. That's
I'm
definitely an
impressed.
animation blunder.
How did
If you
you
are
find-
enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. Did the editors really miss these SpongeBob blunders? Number 3.
These cute little faces.
Alright, so as you can see,
Okay,
SpongeBob,
okay.
Plankton, and Karen
Sorry,
are
I
standing
asked.
on the chum
Thanks,
bucket,
Mrs.
right? But when the
Now I'll
camera
help
starts
you
to
guys
zoom out,
evacuate.
they're not on the chum
But
bucket anymore.
SpongeBob,
It's a weird
you
slip
don't
up
have
for
a
sure.
driver's
Number 2.
license.
Teensy
Oh,
little
don't
detail, however.
No,
What's that,
no, you
Squidward?
don't.
It's Sunday!
Then what's this?
Our paper
library
doesn't bother
card.
me.
Okay, in the
Oh.
first shot, Squidward is wearing his nightdress, right? But then, when he angrily throws SpongeBob out, he's suddenly back in his regular outfit. That's a pretty strange mistake. Number 1.
Should respect your elder. Meet Grandpappy. Meet Grandpa Jenkins. You remember the day when Krabby Patties used to cost a dime?
Okay, take a look at Grandpa Redbeard. As you know, his nose is always red, right? Well, in this shot, his nose changes to gray, just like his beard. Yeah, that's definitely an animation error. If you are enjoying these mistakes, then subscribe for more. Hidden SpongeBob mistakes you've never noticed before. Number 3. Alright, so in the first shot, we can see this poster right here, okay? Remember that. But just seconds later, the poster is completely gone. Yeah, that's a strange slip-up. Number 2.